Welcome to another edition of Journey of Hope. Stories of real people going through the journey of life. We wake up in the morning having no idea what lies before us. And each week as we come together with different guests that have encountered chapters, different opportunities in their life that have presented challenges to them, sometimes almost insurmountable obstacles. Our special guest today is Gerhard, all the way from Germany, Munich, Germany. Gerhard, we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Our listening audience wants to know a little bit about you, so tell us where you're from, what you've been doing, where you're raised, and then we'll bring you down to the present here.
My name is Gerhard. I'm coming from Germany. We live in Munich, the southern part of Germany. And, well, I'm 65 years old. And now I'm retired, but before I was senior manager in an international company. But before I was a lawyer.
So where did you grow up?
I grew up in the western part of Germany.
In the western part of Germany.
Western part of Germany, northwestern part of Germany. Went there to the high school. After that to the army.
So how long were you in the army?
1 year.
Is this kind of a requirement for all?
For all of us.
For all of you, for 1 year?
For that time it was a requirement for all of us. And after that time I went to the university at Bonn, the former capital of Germany.
That was before Berlin?
Before Berlin.
Okay.
That was
at the University of Bonn?
At the University of Bonn. I studied law and made my diploma there. And after that I made my second diploma and passed the bar exam and was a lawyer.
So you practiced in a lawyer. What kind of law?
Especially civil law.
Civil law. And
but after a short time I went to this company and started my career over there. And first of all I worked...
No, as a lawyer?
First as a lawyer, okay. But later on as a manager.
Okay.
And started the career at Cologne.
In Cologne?
In Cologne. And
Germany?
Germany, okay. all in Germany. All the jobs I've done was in Germany. And I stayed in Cologne for 10 years, up to 1990. And then we moved to Berlin.
Now who's the we?
We, my family.
Your family?
The whole family, all the family
now,
with the children.
Your mother and father, or did you get married?
I was married.
Oh, okay.
I was married, 2 children on your side, and a boy and a girl, okay. And now they're...
And your wife's name?
Petra.
Petra, right.
Petra.
Okay, and so you have a boy and a girl?
Boy and a girl.
All right. So you were in this one place for 10 years, then you moved.
I moved,
okay,
tried.
To where? To
Berlin.
To Berlin.
It was the time, the very interesting and important time, because in 1982 the wall broke down.
The time of the Berlin Wall came down, and you were in Berlin at that time.
At that time I was in Berlin, and it was a gorgeous time.
Was it?
Because of all the circumstances, of all the new things which happened in this time.
So was it a freeing time?
Yes, yes.
And I mean, everything had been pretty much controlled before.
Before it was very controlled.
When the wall came down. So what kind of work were you doing at this company?
I worked for an insurance company, and I was responsible for the national job, for the national insurance company, for special parts of this company, especially for the private clients we had. And so all of things in the private clients should have car insurance, liability insurance, property insurance, all these things was my responsibility. And it was very interesting because first I was only responsible for the part of Berlin, the former western part of Berlin. And after the war broke down, I got the responsibility for the whole country of the former German Republic.
For the whole country?
Country, yes.
And you'd only had a portion of Berlin.
Former, and that it was very, very interesting and very important time.
Big challenge then.
For all of us, it was a very, very big challenge. And we had to work very hard. But at the end, we were very successful.
So there was an east and a west, and now all of a sudden it's all one.
All one. Now it's Germany, all one. It was
now, had you been working in the western part of Berlin before?
Before in the western part for 3 years, and then in the eastern part, only in the eastern part, from the sea up to the mountains, from the former eastern part, and was an interesting time. Very, very interesting. All was was built up, and we had to do a lot of things because to renew all the things, all the insurances, it was very, very interesting.
You're trying to unify the country at the same time. You got
Yes.
this big expansive program for the insurance, and
Yeah, very
it must have been a lot of turmoil going on.
Yeah, very, very much. It
But
was,
did you enjoy it?
yes, I enjoyed it because it was so exciting. It was very exciting. It was a hard job, but on the other hand, very
Were you
exciting.
traveling a lot?
Yes, every day.
In fact, you were
Every
telling
day.
me you would leave town on Monday
Yeah,
and come back
on Friday.
on Friday.
Something like that, yes.
And how long were you doing this?
Well, I worked in Berlin from 1990 up to 2002. That means 12 years.
Okay.
And after that, we moved for the same company to Munich to get another job
And Munich's down in the south,
in the south.
south part of Germany.
Well, that's
Okay.
right. And there I got another job, another new job, because the old job was done, always
So
done.
was this still with the same company
With the
now?
same company.
Same
It was
company,
another
okay.
subsidiary, a daughter
So
company.
were you like an officer?
Yes.
You were an executive.
An executive.
Yeah, okay.
There was a member of the board of this subsidiary, and another challenge in Bavaria, another opportunity, another interesting job, and I did it up to my retirement at the end of 2010.
2010. Was it all in Germany still?
It was all in Germany. All
Okay.
in Germany.
Now, what did your wife do?
Well,
I've met your wife, a lovely
yes.
lady.
Thank you, thank you. We moved together from Berlin as well to Munich, but without our children, because they were too old. They went to school and afterwards to university. So we went to Munich, and the children went to university in other countries.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, what did your kids do? Did they finish the university
Yes,
yet?
they finished university. Our son is a businessman.
I had the privilege of meeting your son when
Yeah,
he came
thank
here.
you,
Right?
thank you.
Nice boy.
Yeah, he's a
And met
business.
his girlfriend.
Yes, very
And what's he
nice.
doing?
He's a businessman at the headquarters of BMW in Munich.
Uh-huh.
And our daughter is a consultant at a company, a daughter company, a subsidiary of Amex in Germany, in Munich as well.
Uh-huh.
And we are very happy that they both are
are
in
right
Munich
there.
as well. Now we're all together, and that's
Yeah.
very, very good.
Makes it very nice. So everything is going fine. You're enjoying good health. You retire. And then what happens?
Well, in 2008, I had to go to to my doctor.
This is 2 years before you finished. You retired.
Exactly.
2008.
And 2008, and he said to me, "Well, sorry for you, but you have a very high PSA, and to be very carefully, we have to do a CT, and after this CT, perhaps we have to do a biopsy in order to know if it is a positive result or negative result. But we have to be very careful." So at
He's
the end,
very cautious about
Yeah.
this whole thing.
I was very conscious, and at the end we made a biopsy, and the biopsy was positive. That means I had cancer, prostate cancer. Well, that was not so good. It was a shock for me and for my wife and for the whole family.
And how did your wife react to this?
Oh, well, we were very, very... it was shock. It was shocking, very shocking, and
Well, it's sobering news when you find out you have cancer.
Yeah, I think, what
And
will happen
cancer's-
now?
Cancer's cancer when you
Yeah.
first learn about
Yeah,
it.
that's right. But what can we do now? What are the possibilities? What are the options to do? Surgery, or what can we do? And I had the luck, the very, very great luck, that my doctor is a good doctor, and we talked about these opportunities and the options, and said, well, prostate cancer is a specific cancer, and perhaps we have luck, and it grows very, very slowly. Therefore, we look and wait.
Watch and wait.
Watch and wait.
Active surveillance.
Act and surveillance. That was our strategy, and we did so for years. And in this time, the PSA went up step by step, only a little bit.
Just a little bit, but it's all going
all
up.
growing up.
It's always
Every
going up.
year, and every year I had to repeat the CT, the PSA, but no biopsy.
No biopsies. You had one biopsy to begin
Wide
with,
biopsy,
right?
and at the end, in 2014, the PSA went over 10.
Okay, so it's getting high.
It was very high, and my doctor said, well, now we have to decide what we can do. Now we can't wait any longer. We have to do something.
He felt it was at a point where it's decision time.
Exactly, at the point of no return. And therefore, we talked about and asked him, well, which options do I have? Surgery, treatment with beaming, X-ray, hormones. What's the right therapy for me?
One for you?
Yeah, for me, my situation. Well, we discussed it, and he said, well, there are another option besides surgery, and was very happy that he mentioned this because he was
a surgeon.
But he said, well, there's a possibility of getting proton therapy.
He mentioned this.
He mentioned it, although he is a surgeon.
Sure.
But he mentioned it.
And for our listening audience, there is a proton center in Munich.
Yes, we have one in Munich. But I asked him, well, what would you do when you were in my situation? Well, he said, I would go to Loma. I said, what?
Your Germany doctor in Munich said,
yes,
I would go to Loma.
He said so. And I said, what's that?
You didn't have any idea. Never heard of Loma.
Heard this name.
What is it?
What is it? Can I buy it, or what is it?
Yeah, is it some kind of a product?
Yeah. He said, no. Go to the internet, make your own research, and I give you a call number, call a friend of mine who was over it at Loma years ago. You can contact him and ask him what happens, and he can explain you a little bit. But go to the internet, make your own decision.
Gather your own information.
Exactly, and then we talk again, and we talk about. So I did, and found out what's proton therapy, what's the pros and the cons, what the risks, and found out a lot of other possibilities. There was a support group in the south of Bavarian. I called them, I discussed with them all the problems and the risks and the chances I have or one have. So
being in insurance, you're always dealing with risk, aren't you?
Yes, therefore I do have
kind
to
of balance
it, the pros and the cons. And you know, surgery has pros and cons, protons has pros and cons, and at the end, after a lot of calls, a lot of discussions with others, we as a family decided, well, this is the right way for me. And I went to my doctor, said, well, I'll go to a proton therapy. But there's another problem for me. Please, can you explain me, why should I go to Southern California? That means 12,000 miles away.
12,000 miles?
Kilometers,
yeah,
sorry. Kilometers, that means
kilometers.
Nearly 8,000 miles.
Yeah.
And on the other side, across the street, is a new proton center.
Was it really literally just around the corner?
Yeah, it's a kilometer or something like that, 10 minutes. I said, why not there? It's much more easier, not so expensive. Why to Loma?
It's a good question.
Well, and he explained to me, well, he said, you can go over there, it's okay, but it's a new proton center. And at Loma, they had a lot of experience. They do it for 25 years. And all my patients and all my experiences with this topic says, well, it's very important that you get treated by persons, by a hospital, which has a lot of experience. The machines are dangerous. And therefore, it's very important and necessary that they can steer it very, very exactly. Precisely. So, at the end, he recommended this hospital here, and today I can say it was the right recommendation.
Now, did you talk to any other patients that have been here?
Yes. I talked to other patients in Berlin, some in Berlin, some in Munich, some in southern part of Germany, and
what were they telling you?
Well, like a very, very unbelievable story. They are all very, very. It was a perfect time for them here. I couldn't believe it.
They were talking about a good time they had.
It was a good time. They're very successful. At the end, they do not have any problems. the PSA is 0.5, something like that. They have beaten the cancer. And so it was very, very successful in a good time, very good feeling with a very good support and very good feeling over it. It was for them, always together with their wives, it was a very important experience.
For the both of them.
Had a very, very important time here, impressive time, and all of them said, we won't miss it.
Really?
And with this impression, I came here and said, I cannot believe it. Is it a fairy tale?
It's too good to be true?
It's too good to be true. It's a fairy tale. I can't believe it. Is it reality? Or is it something like, you know, always, perhaps some say they put it in a good light.
They're just trying to be polite.
Very polite and, well.
Politically correct.
Yes, politically correct, that's right. And, but at the end, we stay here since the 1st of April. I can say they're completely right.
You found it to be true.
It's true. It's really true. I'm very glad to be here. And today I had my 41st treatment, 4 more. That means next Monday.
You'll be out of here.
I'll be out, and then I can go home.
So how have you been since you've been here? What have you been doing?
Oh,
have you been sick?
No, not really.
Not really.
Not really. It is so unbelievable. I had a lot of things to do. The problem is I had a lot of books in my suitcase, but I haven't the chance to read them because I had to do so many things. There are a lot of meetings, a lot of... Well, I have to go to the Dresden Center every day for workouts.
And what's the Dresden Center for our listening audience?
Perfect.
What is that?
Very perfect. It's a very important part of the healing process. Going over there, do workout, go swimming, go to the gym, all what you want. It's
our Dresden Center is our fitness center.
It's a fitness center.
2 large heated pools.
But not only a fitness center, it's more. It's a very good fitness center. A great fitness center, very clean, very perfect, very friendly staff, and with the perfect pools. And so it's more the normal fitness center, you know, from these private fitness centers you have. And therefore, it's a very, very important and very good part of this process. And as well, a lot of meetings we have on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, when you take part. It's very interesting to come together, to socialize with other patients. And another very important point that although some are alone here without their wives because of private reasons, nobody is alone. You can talk to one another. You can talk about your problems. There's a large group.
Everybody's not isolated. They're kind of brought together, and there's a community that's established, isn't there?
It's part of friendship, camaraderie. It's very, very, very good to know. It's nearly like a form of a family. All together, and
that's a good observation. It's like a family.
The very seldom thing is that men speak about their cancer. Normally they do not do, but here they do. And it's a new experience and a new thing for me.
They're very open, aren't they?
They open themselves,
very open,
and that's good.
And it's very good. It's a very important part of the healing center. We say that the treatments take place either in the gantry or the fixed beam line, but healing is a process. Much more than just showing up for your treatment. So you've been going to the Dresden Center.
Yes.
And you've been going to the Tuesday night potluck.
Yes.
And you've been going to the Wednesday educational meeting.
That's right.
And the Thursday restaurant tour.
That's right.
And probably a lot of other things. And there's some other support groups that take place during the week.
Exactly. And at the end, you have to add that at the weekend, when you are free.
Yes, when you have free time, no treatments.
Free time. Then I went to the beaches, and that's a very impressive thing for me, going to the beaches and see the real life over there.
So the weather back in Germany has not been all that great.
Oh, no, it's gray and cold and rainy. It's very rainy.
And it's been pretty nice here in Southern California.
So that's a good side of all these things. A very good
now,
side.
has your family been worried about you?
Yes, Sure, because they ask me, what happens? What are you doing? What about your feeling? What about the treatments?
Are you losing your hair?
No, I didn't lose my hair, but I lost some pounds because of new nutrition. I got very interesting information for the nutrition. I changed some part of nutrition. And in order to be able to come good through this process without problems with the bowel and all these things. Therefore, I changed my nutrition and lost some pounds, but it's good. I feel good with this.
So when you say your nutrition, are you eating differently now?
Yes, no sweets, no chocolate.
No
That's
chocolate.
my problem.
Oh, you like chocolate.
No chocolate, I like it very much.
Okay.
And, no red meal,
okay,
for instance, and some other things.
And you were telling me that, what else have you given up since you've been here now? You were telling me you went go shopping and you pick up a few things, and some things you haven't been getting.
Well, the thing is that when you're here, you come it's part of a new world.
It's a whole new experience, isn't it?
Completely. Completely new world, new experience, this community, this treatment, the whole situation. The surrounding, the treatment itself, but as well the whole surrounding by other patients, the treatments, the city, as well the opinion and the thinking of to take a man whole. That's a new thing for me.
Okay, say that again.
This.
Making man whole.
Yes.
Mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. We don't treat a disease, we treat the whole person.
That's right. Very
and you found that to be true.
That's true and helps very much. It's not only a treatment like a treatment in a hospital. I think there are other options in the United States.
Sure.
I think there are 14 or 15 other proton centers.
Right.
But I think these other possibilities, these other options are so important and so good as a package for the person.
Talking about the total program.
The total program, all the things you said are very, very important and good for the healing process in order to come through, because it's for all of us a new step in our life. And therefore,
a new direction, a new chapter.
Yeah, a new chapter, because you have cancer. You have to manage that you have cancer, and you will defeat this bad thing.
Yes.
And you can do it in this perfect surrounding with this perfect care and help, and that's the very, very important thing.
Now, we've had some people show up at the meetings. They heard that there was a support group.
Yeah.
And we've had some people come in through the door on a Wednesday night and look around at the group and know that they couldn't be with cancer patients. Yeah. And they leave because what are the patients doing?
Yeah, they're fun, they're laughing.
They're laughing and having a good time.
It's unbelievable for me as well. The first time when I saw that, I was sitting with my wife and we looked to each other and said, well, we can't believe it, that they're laughing and telling jokes and, well, they're very amused about their cancer. So what happens here?
There's something going on.
Yeah. Is it very serious?
Now,
but it is.
Yes. Now, when your boy came, he was worried about you.
Yes.
And when he came here, what happened?
Well, he was very interested because of his father's problems, his father's cancer. And he had a lot of information from me before.
Before he got here.
But his own impression was so intensive, and he had the possibility, the chance to go to the gantry to have a look in.
He looked and saw the way.
See, when I was lying my pot over there, and I said, well, it's good, and we made this victory. And then he was very, very happy to see this, feeling that's a good treatment for me.
So you weren't just saying it, it really was true.
It was true,
He saw for his own eyes. Well,
yeah.
I saw when he first came, and then I saw after he'd been here for a couple of days,
yeah.
I saw a change in his countenance. Yes. And he began, as he was coming out to the different meetings and seeing it, he began to say, it's true. Dad is being taken care of. Now, he does have the possibility, because you said it's possible your father also had that.
Yeah.
So his grandfather and his father, and likelihood that something could be happening for him. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Well, you're soon going to be out of here. What difference is having cancer making to you?
Well, you have to think it over. You have only one chance. You only have one life.
One life.
And you have to be very concentrated on it and be good to your life and be very concentrate on it. And well, you can start a new life after this. Yeah.
It's not the end.
It's not the end. It's the beginning.
It's the beginning. That's what I was hoping you were going to say. It's the beginning of a whole new
part.
A whole new chapter.
Means, I hope for a long period.
Yes.
After this, a long period where you can be active. Perhaps I start working again. We'll see. We will see.
Living longer is only good if you experience quality of life.
That's
and
good.
that's why Loma talks about making man whole, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Well, Gerhard, you're a wonderful example to our listening audience of somebody that was really sobered by the diagnosis. You know, when you hear cancer, it's a frightening thing. But then you've realized that it's just it's opening up other opportunities for you. And it's not the end, it's really the beginning of a whole new life, and it's making an impact upon your family. And I know when you go back to Germany, it's going to make an impact upon them. For our listening audience, you know, Gerhard is a wonderful example of people that have been diagnosed with a serious disease, and then they realize that there's some options out there, and getting diagnosed is not a death sentence. It's a diagnosis. And coming here, he's found out that there's a whole new way of life. And I'm glad to let you know, Gerhard, that God's not through with you yet. He's got some wonderful plans. For our listening audience, some of you this week have got some sobering news. And I want to tell you that you too, that God's got a plan for you. Don't get overwhelmed. Look to Him. There's some wonderful promises in God's Word that are just for you. And He's waiting for you to turn your life over to Him and allow you to guide and direct and lead. And He'll take you all the way. And God's looking at you right now, waiting for you.